I'm Victor Carney. I'm here today to talk about John Pohl's artwork that he's bringing into the world. He has a unique form of art that we're going to walk through today and have discussions about how his gift is brought into the world and how people experience it. I'm here with a client of his and friend, Meraki, to discuss John's art.
Mm-hmm.
So, meeting John for the first time and understanding what his art is, how did you take that? How was that presented to you by John?
Well, it kind of happened very slowly. I've known John for a long time, just seen him throughout town, just flows here and there. And I saw some pictures of his artwork, and I found it very intriguing. He had a real gift, and the subject matters were very interesting, and I saw real talent there. I love art. I travel all over the world, going to museums, just looking at art, and I also paint. So I was planning to have a summer art show to introduce local artists to the local community, and John was featured there. And that was the first time I got to see his art in person. He had the whole room, and he brought his stuff, and it was absolutely gorgeous. But I didn't know his technique or how he got his ideas.
So when you saw his art the first time, did you realize that some of that art just comes to him and he paints it, and then other art that has been created that's in his portfolio is actually through his reading and time that he spends with clients?
No, I really didn't. I didn't.
Right.
But I also paint, and my artwork also comes to me somehow. So I never really gave it much thought.
So there wasn't really a differentiator of really what John's gift is, from his ability to actually sit with you and spend that time and go in and read you
No, it was all new to me.
and bring out what he sees in your world.
Yeah, it was all new to me. So he shows up, and we walked around the house looking for a room that we could have some quiet, because there were people in the house, and I have a lot of windows and light shines through every room, and it's kind of like a big loft. The sound echoes off the walls. There's a few quiet places. So we settled actually in the room that we are in now.
Great.
And
this would be a good place for us to be then.
yes,
experience
absolutely.
it, bring it all back in comfortably to discuss.
Only quiet room in the house. So, like I said, I had a kind of a crazy morning, but just said, try to relax. We dimmed the lights. He explained to me he was going to light some candles, and that the candles were to take out the negative energy,
Right.
which I was full of that morning. And
how did you settle into his explanation of kind of where he was going and kind of his process and quieting your mind
I
and
welcomed it.
preparing for
I welcomed it.
him to bring his gift into your world?
Yeah, I welcomed it. I just, we sat down, and he positioned himself behind me. He told me that not to worry, that at no time that he was going to be touching me in any way. I wasn't worried anyway, because he's such a calm, nice guy. I was not fearful at all of the experience, even though it was going to be new to me. So I just relaxed, and very soon, I just kind of almost felt like our breathing connected together.
Right, and then he goes through this process of kind of asking you, are you ready, and ask your permission to start, and how did that feel when somebody kind of says, I'm about to do something that you've probably never experienced?
Like I said, I was comfortable with it. I just tried to relax my mind, and I gave him permission. And soon I was very relaxed, and kind of, could kind of feel like the air around you is kind of heavier, kind of like you're being hugged by the environment. It's kind of strange. It's kind of strange to...
You could truly feel his energy connect with your energy as he starts to do his work.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel actual energy and different things when as he puts his hands around the side of your head or raises over the top of your head, and you're in that quiet calm of time and just trying to clear your mind? Did you have any different sensations that you could
I would
remember?
have to say it was quite a long time ago, about 8 months ago, so I don't exactly remember, but I do just kind of remember kind of feeling like my skin was tingling and
Right.
having kind of a pulling in my neck. I
Right.
don't know if it was the position I was in or if it was kind of being relaxed, or I have no idea.
Right. So in my, I'll just touch on a little of my experience going through the same process and walking into an environment and allowing somebody to take that time to, let them into your mind space, into your spirit of life. And I did feel, when his hands were around me, some euphoria around the sides, and I could feel more tension and pulling personally from the top.
Okay.
So that was kind of why I was asking that question, is just kind of get that sense from you of where
Yeah, it's
that
probably
went.
similar.
Yeah. So then, as he spent that time with you and you finished up the reading, then how did John move from there in the discussion of kind of what he experienced and how that played out in the way he
Well,
shared his thoughts and
during his time here, the session was very short. I would say we were in here for about 10 minutes total. Soon after I started to relax, he said that he felt that somebody was in the room with us. And then he said, he asked the question, he goes, why is she carrying a handbag? He's like so perplexed. What's going on here? It's like, why does she have a handbag?
right.
And when he said that, I thought of my mother, because my mom, when we were younger, used to carry a handbag all the time with her, just in the house, from the kitchen to the sofa, on walks, and her kids and myself, we'd always say, Mom, why are you carrying a handbag? You don't need that bag. And she'd always want it with her all the time. We just thought it was ridiculous. We kind of make fun of her. But it's something I haven't thought about for years, because she stopped carrying the bag when she got older, and we kind of took care of her and took control of what she did. We just
Right.
stayed away from her.
Right.
You don't need this, Mom. That's silly.
The bag's not necessary.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
We're beyond the bag.
Yes.
Whatever you're used to.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we're in control now.
Right.
So it's something I've never talked about to anybody, but all of my siblings would know that description. And when I told my sister that, what he said, she said, Mom? Just like I did. But it was funny because I know John's mother, and when I said, my mom, he said, not my mom. I said, no, not your mom, silly, my mom.
Right.
So
how once that happened, did that cause an emotional thing that kind of spurred, okay, I think for today and kind of how this is going
I did become pretty emotional.
Right.
My mother had passed away about 6 months prior, and even though I'm not a really religious person, or I question a lot of things, I have been talking to my mother in my thoughts since. Just kind of like asking her for guidance and having little conversations in my mind with her. I know, it sounds crazy, but when he said that, to think that maybe that
Right.
my mother was actually there and listening. I'm
Okay.
kind of emotional now. I did.
That wasn't, but I can imagine that in the process of the time, and we're back in the same room, so a lot of the same feeling and experience, and now we see the way that Jonathan takes his gift of reading and then transforms it into art. So when we look at what he experienced and what he shared with you at that time, we move into a piece of art that is going to tell us many stories about what John sees when his gift is applied into this world. So
But he did go further into the session. He started saying that he saw a necklace with a pearl, a round necklace with diamonds, and he asked me if it belonged to my mother. And I said, no, she never owned any really nice piece of jewelry, nothing like that. He was like, yeah, you got this wrong. And he kept going, no, I kept talking about this piece of jewelry. And I started thinking, I was like, well, I kind of have a piece of jewelry like that. But I don't know why you would see it. It doesn't really mean anything to me. It's just, I don't think I'm really a materialistic person. I have beautiful things, but I'm not really into that kind of stuff. So I just kind of, so I know something like that. So he said the session was over. He basically said, I kind of thought, he said maybe my mom didn't want to go on any longer, and I thought, well, if she was here, she would tell him to go home.
go on, she'd just keep talking.
That's what I was thinking. But it didn't last very long, maybe because I become very, very emotional. But he also said he saw an image of me like coming out of water.
Okay. After the session, then you discuss with him about the possibility of transforming what he has experienced in his time with you into art. Mm-hmm. And you had commissioned and decided to do a piece and have John do this piece of art, and which is something that you can choose to do or not to do as you spend time with John.
Mm-hmm. In my case, he was planning to do it from the very beginning.
He was.
And I was on my way. I lived half the year in Europe, so I left, and I said, well, I won't be back till December. And they gave him, 3 months or so to do the piece, and I didn't have any contact with him until I came back.
Okay. So were you aware that the entire time after you spend that in that session with John, and he starts to work on the piece, he is actually in contact with your mother, and how he communicates with her to continue to bring his art to life?
Well, while I was gone, I did not know that he was continuing to talk to my mother. I was looking myself to see if there was a gold. I was thinking, well, when I see the painting, I'm kind of looking for a gold handbag. My sisters and I, we placed a gold handbag with my mother when she was buried. And I thought it would be interesting to see if he would capture that in the painting. So I was expecting something very abstract, maybe, with the necklace and a gold handbag. I was hoping for the gold handbag, just kind of a test to see if it was there. And when I arrived back in town, I was told that he wasn't done with the painting yet.
Right.
And that he was communicating with my mother still. And okay, well, my first thought, well, if he's communicating with my mother, he's never going to finish the painting. That's what I thought. He never ended his project.
She's going to take him all over the place.
Take him all over the place. Yeah.
So then you get back and he finishes the piece and brings it over to you. Did you come over here with the art, or did you come over to see it?
I told him that I would meet him over at his place.
Okay.
And so I walked up and I saw the painting, and I was shocked. It was surreal. I was expecting something very abstract, but to see my mother, young, beautiful, strong, a woman basically that I knew existed, I never met because she was quite old. And I moved away, and I never really knew her except for mother-child relationship.
Okay.
Being one of 8 children, and
right.
She's very busy, and I started my life and moved all the way across the world. So sort of once a year.
So initially when you saw it, it just brought up tremendous emotion for many reasons.
Yeah.
Because of the likeness, the portrayal, and the way you saw your mom, and how has that, since you have taken the painting and brought it into your home, how has that continued in your relationship and interaction with with the art?
Well, I would say that it has been very healing. I mean, John put symbols of healing and birth and rebirth. The Beyond Birth is the name of the painting. To get to know my mother through thinking about her life, you know, thinking about her friendships and everything she's been through, and thinking about her as kind of as a friend, as a young person, a person that I never knew. It makes me understand her more.
And that's really one of the things that's a beautiful experience about this, because there's so many ways to find that and reconnect, and then take that time to, not as a child necessarily understand your circumstances, but as an adult be able to maybe reflect upon the complexities of time with your mom and in the situation, and then being able to think about her in a light, in a way now, since she's passed, that removes some of those barriers and allows that reconnecting and the positivity as an adult. Yeah, because
not as a child, you know? I mean,
because expectations are much different at that time. Let's move on to the necklace. Let's talk about that necklace and kind of what the necklace ended up representing, that really had not been exposed to anybody. It was pretty private for you.
Well, it wasn't on my radar, for sure,
and how it came about.
Well, about a month after the reading, I went to my nephew's wedding, and all my brothers and sisters were all sitting at a table, and my one brother said to my oldest brother, "Hey, I still have those cufflinks that you gave me when I was in your wedding." And I thought, wait a minute, I was a flower girl in that wedding. I was about 5, 6 years old. And I said, I had that pearl pin you gave me forever, and I melted it down with other pieces of jewelry, and I made another piece of jewelry. And it dawned on me right there, and I shared the story with my siblings about the reading and about the necklace, that this is actually a pretty special piece. It's not just a piece of beauty. It has parts of my life melted down. Weddings, childhood, baby crosses. The diamonds come from an old engagement. It's little pieces of me right here. And I didn't think anything of this piece of jewelry, and it kind of, Jonathan saw it before I did.
Right. I think what I find interesting is that from the connection of the purse, the way that you saw the piece of art as it was presented to you, the feelings that you have in your reconnection with your mother through this art, and then when you look at that piece to me has significant connection, because you are a person that seems to me that still has connection through your history. And then when you look at the art, and now with the relationship that you had with your mother, and any process through that time, that you have a history that you are connected to when you look back and live your life and reflect upon where you came from and how you kind of got here
and who you become.
Exactly.
Because in a way, you know, I've always told my children, always check out your girlfriend's mothers, because they become their mothers.
And look how happy it makes you smile.
And looking at this, I'm thinking, you know, this could be a painting of me, and we do become our mothers in a way. And then she's carrying, like me, there, which is kind of special. And this is a piece that no one really ever sees. I don't wear it. I mean, it's too dressy for Tahoe. I live in, you know, walking the streets of London. I don't want anybody to kill me.
I didn't know it was that aggressive.
It can be. I mean, I'm just not, I usually don't wear it, but, so he's never had a chance to see it. So, though when I first saw the painting, all I saw was my mother. It took me a while to actually look for the bag. And when I saw that, I was kind of shocked, because he had it in her hand and it was gold.
Right.
And the piece, I showed it to Jonathan after, and how close it actually is to what I'm wearing. And
So when you,
more-
I think something else that comes to my mind is the whole reborn, right? Because if you do start from where you came from originally and how this has progressed in your life and your relationship with your mother, you really have become reborn
Yeah,
in how you view it.
right.
And that's an important part of how you work through loss and move forward in life.
That's true.
So when you think about this experience and other people come to see John to be read and see his art and his gift, how does, what would you have to say about that?
Well, I have to say it was a wonderful experience for me. The piece means a lot to me. I would suggest anybody to take the time, even if they don't believe. It makes them question themselves and different things, and it's a learning experience.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for your time, Marie.
Thank you.